welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a recap of Dracula Season 1, Episode 2, Blood Vessel. I am so glad there's only 3 episodes because these are some long-ass episodes, too many freaking notes, too many people, moving parts. It's a lot. But, okay, let's get into it. Okay, so, it opens with Dracula and Agatha. And I don't know if they're supposed to be back in this house. I'm not sure where they are, but they're kind of bantering back and forth, and then they sit down to play a game of chess. Convenience. Okay, so he starts telling her the story about his voyage to England, and he basically said that just to let you know, not everybody makes it to the end. And so, we flash to the ship. We see this guy, he's having some type of nightmare, and he wakes up and he sees this hand coming towards him. And then this huge guy comes through the door and he's screaming like, what happened to my hand, what happened to my hand? So it's kind of like a nightmare in a nightmare. So he wakes up and he kind of gets himself together. And so then you see there were 3 men, and 2 of the guys had retrieved this coffin for another guy, Dr. Sharma. And it was because I think his research has to do with life after death and the undead and that kind of stuff. And so, and it was some kids or, people complaining about weeping from this particular grave. And so they exhumed the body, they brought the coffin to him. And they opened the coffin, and he was looking at the lid, and he see, okay, this coffin has been, it's 70 years old, but these scratches look new. And so while they're looking at the coffin, next thing you see his hands coming out of the coffin. They turn around, and it's obviously this disgusting, half-rotted person, person coming out of the coffin. So of course they all panic and scream, and it's all chaos in this room, right? Okay, and then you have this young guy who's cleaning up. It looks to be, I don't know if it's a hospital or some sort of situation. And there's this other guy who's a deckhead. He died. And I think that was his mother who was there with the priest and giving him doing the last rites and the whole thing. And after it was done, the priest had handed the mother a stake and a hammer, and she thought she couldn't do it. And so she plunged it into his chest, and of course that killed him. The true death, again, true blood fans. Okay, so and that guy's name was Piotr, something like that. And so the next thing you see is people getting on this ship called the Demeter. Okay, so the first person to get on was the young guy who was cleaning up, and he actually took the dead guy's name. So when he got on the ship, he signed his name as Piotr, the dead guy. Okay, and so this is how they're kind of introducing you to the passengers that are getting on the boat. And so then you have the man with the hook. This is the guy from the dream, and you find out that the guy who's having the dream is actually the captain. And so the guy walks up, the heavyset guy, and he has the hook, and he the captain says, well, I'm going to try to get you back in one piece. And the guy with the hook, because at this time, you don't know any of these people's names, because I don't remember him saying his name. And so he says, basically told him that, that was nobody's fault. And he wasn't broken up about it. But the captain, he still felt guilty about it. Then you had Lord and Lady Ruthven. They're getting on board. They're newlyweds, just got married, and their guy, manservant, who didn't have a name until well into the episode. It's the only black guy in the cast, and for some reason you didn't find out his name until I don't know how long it took you, but his name is Adisa, I believe it is. And so he gets on board, and then you see Dr. Sharma. Obviously, if you remember Dr. Sharma from the previous, where he had the coffin and then the undead getting out and the whole thing. So he gets on board with this young girl who, again, you don't find out till later in the episode, is his daughter, and her name is Yamini, something like that. Okay, so we go back to Dracula and Agatha, and she said, "Wait a minute, you turned up and openly with the passengers." And so he basically said it's a 4-week journey to England. I can't spend it buried, underground or whatever. However, he was going to stay hidden or whatever. He's like, I couldn't spend 4 weeks like that. And so you have Piotr. So he's there now, and he's delivering. It looks like water and towels to room 9. Now room 9 becomes very important in this episode. So, a guy, I forget which crew member it was, that said that we don't go to this room. The person inside is sick. The only person that's allowed to go into this room is the captain, so you can skip this room. And so he walked off, and the deckhand kind of stood around for a while, like he was listening through the door. And Dracula was like, "Oh, do you listen at doors or something?" He said he stuck up behind the guy and startled him. And he was like, "Well, not really." He said, "Not that I'm judging the whole match or whatever." And so now they're at Sinn. So the guy with the hook, who we find out later, which is called Victor. Well, he said his friend's called Victor. He's a cook on board. So he's in the kitchen and he's talking to Piotr. So Piotr's helping him get stuff together. And he was tasting something. Piotr said, you can use some paprika. And the guy, kind of picked his accent. There was something about his accent and where he's from, and it kind of rubbed the cook the wrong way. And then they started talking, and the cook ended up giving him a bottle of, it looks like vodka, gin, or something. I don't know what it was, but he drank it from the bottle, and you could tell he's like, it was too strong for him. So the cook was like, "So how do you like that?" And he was like, "It could use some paprika." And so that cracked him up. So that kind of softened him up to the young guy. And they had a good laugh about that. And so, Lord and Lady, they're at dinner. And so you have Lord and Lady sitting at their table, and Adisa standing behind them. And then you have a woman, an elderly woman who you saw in the beginning. She also got aboard, but of course we didn't know who she was until later. She's actually Duchess Valeria of Augusta, something like that. Okay, but anyway, so she's there. And then you have Dr. Sharma and his daughter. And so Adisa, and keep in mind, he's the only black person in this whole story. And so the guy, one of the crew members, brought some wine, and Adisa drank the wine. He was like, "This is terrible, bring something else." And so, of course, the guy was kind of looking at him like he was above his station, but he couldn't say anything because the guy, Adisa, was employed by the Lord and Lady. And so he basically, Dr. Sharma started talking about, he said something to him, and he was like, and he started signing to his daughter. I was like, she's definitely done. And Adisa said, "Yeah, that's terrible." He said, but Dr. Sharma said, "But she sees everything." And he kind of made some face. And so Ruthven waves Adisa over, and he told him, "Don't make a scene." And so he told him, "Don't make a scene." And Adisa said, "I don't like it when you call me your help or something," he's saying. And he said, "I know it hurts me." And so at this point you can see that Lord Ruthven and Adisa are actually lovers. And Lord Ruthven basically said that I married her because I had to. I was at the time, I didn't really have a choice. Okay, so Dracula then comes in, and he starts up a conversation with the elderly woman. And he was like, "You should get the fish." And she was like, "Excuse me?" He said, "Well, we are at sea. I guess the only fresh thing we can have is fish." And so she kind of chuckled a little bit, and she was like, "Well, I'm very particular about what I eat." He was like, so am I. And so, I guess this castle, whatever, Agatha was like, "You went to the dining room?" She said, "But you don't eat food." He said, but I enjoy the company of others, right? And so he asked her if he could sit. She sat down, and she introduced herself as Grand Duchess Valeria of Augustburg or something like that. And of course he introduced himself Mr. Ballard to write a story about her life. And she started speaking in German, but he was like, okay, my German's kind of rusty. So he got up and he stepped away for a while. And then he went to the deck. Now, what he saw was the guy who was standing listening at the door. He speaks German. And so he ends up killing this guy so that he can absorb this ability. Like, he's able to absorb the abilities of others through drinking their blood. But the only thing, he also absorbs a lot of things from the individual. So this individual actually had a stutter. And so for a time, so he killed the guy, went back to the table, started talking to the Duchess, but he also got this guy's stutter. So you hear kind of stutter stammering a little bit. And so she was like, okay, what about like, you said that your German was kind of rusty, but you speak pretty good to me. And so they started, talking again about how she was talking about her fondest memory, and I think it was of her 18th birthday or something, and her mom had this big surprise for her, and she blindfolded her with this whole thing and led her downstairs, and all she reached out and she said it was something that was wrapped in this pink paper, and she kind of ripped at it, and he said, and you won't believe, she was like, and you won't believe what it was, and she was like, it was a pineapple, and he was like, it was a pineapple, and he kind of went into the description, and then you can see her eyes kind of get big, and then she remembers that she met him when she was a young girl. They actually danced, and she couldn't believe. She was like, "It is you!" Like, if initially she couldn't recall, and so he asked her for another dance, and so they danced, and while this is going on, the ship is kind of rocking and going. It just wasn't. It was something. The captain said something was wrong, so he got out of bed and went upstairs and saw that the man on deck was gone. Obviously, he was gone because he was killed by Dracula. And so he's dancing with the Duchess, and he kills the Duchess. So she's dead. So now the next morning, they find out that not only is the guy who's on deck missing, but the Duchess has also disappeared. Nobody knows what's going on. So it was like, okay, it's been one night and 2 people have already disappeared. What the hell is going on? Okay, and then the guy, and one of the guys commented up on how thick the fog was. And so we go back to, of course, it's going to be a back and forth between what's going on the ship and Agatha and Dracula. And so Agatha and Dracula, she was like, so the fog is useful for blocking out sunlight. This is Agatha said. And he was like, well, you know what they say, you always take the weather with you. This is Dracula said to her. So you see Piotr, he's kind of searching. They're all kind of searching to see if they can find the Duchess or whatever. And so Piotr's about to open this wine vat or container, and Dracula pops out of nowhere and was like, "You looking for the Duchess?" And he was like, "No," kind of scared him. And he starts going on about the story about how this hero in some war died, and they wanted to preserve his body to take him back to England. So they did this by putting him in a vat of wine or something to pickle him, but they didn't tell the soldiers. So the soldiers were actually drinking from this wine that is dead. It was gross, but so he opened the container. Was like, "Do you want to check to see if she's in here?" So they opened it, and of course she wasn't there, and that was that. But that whole story was revolting. Okay, so the captain, he's in the dining room, and he's basically trying to reassure the remaining passengers. It was like, there's going to be a proper inquiry when we actually reach London. And so Adisa kind of questions, like, how in the world does 2 people go missing in one night? And Dracula asks, and so Dracula kind of changed the subject. He started asking about Lord Ruthven's wife. He's like, well, where's your lovely wife? And he was like, oh, she's resting. And so he said, you'd rather be up here than with your wife? And you kind of see Adisa's face looking kind of weird. And so Dracula, so they're talking, and next you know, Dracula goes over and he kind of rubs him on his thigh. And now Lord Ruthven is like, okay, what's that about? So Victor and Piotr is talking, And they're joking, and I don't know, they drank something else, ate something else, and he made the joke at anybody he could use some paprika. So that was they laughed a little bit. And that's when Victor actually introduced himself. Like, my friends call me Victor, so you should go ahead and continue working. And so as he was leaving, he said, all right, I'll see you later, Victor. And so we didn't have to mess with him and say, I said my friends call me Victor. So with this serious face. And then he started laughing, and they part of it. So they're cool. And so back at the I guess Dracula's manor, Agatha asked, okay, so what's your next move? And so Lord and Lady Ruthven, they're in bed, and she's kind of tossing and turning, and she wakes up like she's having trouble sleeping. And then they kind of flash to Sharma. He's in his room. His daughter's fast asleep, and he's flashing back on the incident with the corpse and the undead, all that. And the corpse actually, when it got out of the coffin, it actually killed the other two men. Somehow he was able to get out. And so he starts talking to his daughter. She's fast asleep, but he's like, I'm going to do everything I can to protect you. He's like saying this because he knows something is afoot on the ship. And so Lady Ruthven, she went on the deck, and at the time the guy who was the deckhand was basically telling her that it's not safe for you to be up here. There's a lot of stuff going on. And she's like, it's warm down there. I just want to walk around for a little while and get some fresh air. So of course, while she's walking around, who does she run into? Dracula. And they start talking, and she was talking about, her and her husband are going to America, and if they're gonna have a lot of children, and Dracula's talking about how lucky her husband is. She said, well, I'm lucky to be with him too. He's handsome, this guy, the whole thing. And he's like, and he was basically saying that he was a vampire. And so she said, what did you say? He said, look at my reflection. And so he pulled the cover off of they had like barrels of rock there. He pulled the cover off of there, and she saw a reflection. The reflection she saw was of her and Lord Ruthven, and she was kind of like, that's me. And he said, do you have a reflection? She said, no. He said, no. He said, why is that? He was like I said, because I'm a vampire. And so the next thing you know, you see Yamini back in Dr. Sharma's room. He's asleep. There's bunk bed, so he's on the bottom, Yamini's on the top. And she blood is falling on her face. So she wakes up and she sees all this blood coming down on her. And then you flash to the deck, and of course you see Dracula killing Lady Ruthven, which her name was Dorabella. And so Agatha says pig, and he said, you're going to be at he was like, what? And so she said, it's going to be 4 weeks to London, and you've already killed 3 people in 2 nights. And he made some snarky comment, whatever. Okay, so the next morning, the captain, the deckhand, and Dr. Sharma, they find the blood, and of course, Lady Ruthven is missing. Of course, he finds out that she's dead, she's gone, and of course, Lord Ruthven has to put on the show because he didn't really want to be her anyway. But of course, he has to pretend to be the grieving husband, and he jacks up. The captain is like, "You need to find out what happened to my wife this whole show." Okay, whatever. Okay, and so they decide that they're going to continue to England. And people are like, well, what do you mean? Like, what else are they gonna do? They're in the middle of the damn ocean. Like, I mean, that's all they can do is keep moving forward. But they're like, there's something evil. There's a killer on board. There's some evil. There's something going on over here. But I mean, obviously, there was nothing that they could do. Again, they're cut off. They're at sea. So, while they're in the room, in the dining room, Dracula looks at Yamini, and he was like, you look particularly upset. Is there something you saw? When he touched her, he saw a flash, or she saw a flash of him covered in blood, and like he had just killed Lady Ruthven. And so Dr. Sharma said she doesn't speak English, she only speaks a sign language. And he was like, oh, well, that's definitely a skill I need to acquire. So it's like, okay, this is gonna be an answer. Okay, so the crewman is talking about there's an evil we didn't find out his name until later. I think it was his name was Valentin. And I think that's when they turned and said, we really need to see what's going on in Cabin 9. And so the captain said, okay, we will search, but I'll do it. So he went in, and you hear all these flies, and you hear mumbling, and you hear like this raspy voice going on. And he came out, and he was like, the person is still very ill, and there's nobody else in the cabin. There's nobody else in the cabin. And so they said, they usually, they take the captain at his word. And he said, we'll take you, for your word for now. And that was it. The captain walked away. The captain stood around like, who the hell was trying to figure out what was going on. And so the rest of the crewmen, so you have the crewmen, Dracula, Adisa, Sharma, they're searching the crates. And so they're finding these crates just full of soil and dirt. And they're like, what the hell? What is going on here? And so, next you know, the passengers and the crew gather on deck, and one of the guys fell and he broke his leg. And so Dracula was like, you should probably get him help, soon. And so I think it was Victor that said, if you can't take it, then step away. And then Agatha was like, well, you can't take it because you're an addict. He's addicted to, much like a person addicted to drugs or alcohol. He is an addict. So you can see he was having a hard time controlling himself. And so she was like, you're smiling. And he said, after 40 years, it's nice to be able to find someone who understands me. And so she was like, well, I don't understand you yet. 7 very different passengers on the Demeter, convenient given your dietary requirements. And so they take the man to Valentin, which is the guy who's always, there's something evil on here, whatever. This at his leg. And so they're now in the dining hall, and this guy's on the lower deck. He can smell the blood. I mean, it's blood pushing out. I mean, there's a bone sticking out of his skin. There's a lot of blood loss. So he can smell it, and he's kind of slowly losing it. And that's when they start having these conversations. So Sharma asked Victor if they always had as many passengers on board, and the Victor was like, well, no, not really. This is actually more than we've ever had. And these also are some of the most richest passengers we've ever had. And so Victor asked Lord Ruthven, like, why would you choose the Demeter? And he was like, well, I didn't actually set this up. My business partner recommended it, and so I didn't really think anything of it. And he was like, well, I'm sure, what did he call him? I'm sure Mr. Balthus, it's the same guy. I'm sure he knew what he was doing. And Dr. Sharma was like, what did you say? You said, what is that man named? Baldus, something like that. And Sharma was like, who was that? And then he said, so they're kind of seeing a connection between the people. So Baldus is Lord Ruthven's business partner, and he's Dr. Sharman's sponsor. And he was also the person that paid, but they didn't know this because she was the first one to die. He was also the person that paid to have this book written about Duchess Valeria. So they're starting to see it. So they turn to ask Dracula if he heralded the person, but he was already gone. So they're like, where the hell did he go? What's going on now? And so, okay. And so Victor asked, okay, no, I already did all that. So I'm trying to get through this as quickly as I can. It's already been 24 minutes. Lord jeez, I'm trying to condense this as much as I can. Agatha made the connection. Said, you're Mr. Bauer. And he was like, who? And so she said Bauer is actually Romanian for Dracula. It was some kind of way she was able to break it down. And so she was like, you were teaching yourself how to dance. Like this whole test on this boat was for you to test yourself and teach yourself how to use restraint, but you were clearly failing. And so Valentin's back on deck, and he says there's something going on on this ship, and he told another crewman, find everybody who thinks the same, and the guy went and gathered as many people as he could. And then the crew member who had broken his leg, he obviously, he wasn't gonna last long. Dracula ended up killing him. And so everyone so they ended up finding the guy dead where he lay. And then Piotr runs in, and he said, okay, one of the lifeboats are gone, and and so is half the crew. And so that's what Victor told him. We need to go into room number 9, because that's the only mystery at this point. They've all been kind of moving around the boat and kind of running into each other at one time or another, but what they don't know is what the hell is going on in room number 9. And so they're back. So we're back at the castle, and Agatha and Dracula, they're still talking, and she said that so she kind of something starts where she's like, wait a minute, when did I lose so many pieces? Because remember they're playing chess, and she was winning at one point. And he was like, you've been losing for a while now. You've been losing from the start. And he was drinking out of a glass. And she was like, you don't drink. He was like, I don't drink wine. And so she kind of stands up like, how did I get here? And he was like, don't you remember? And he said, we were at the convent, and you let Mina go. So Mina, that's right, Mina's still alive. You let Mina go. And he said, yeah, but I didn't let you go. And that's when she realized that the person he was creating this whole thing in her mind to keep her disoriented. The person in room number 9 was her. And he was basically slowly drinking her. He said it was something about her blood that he wanted to save her. So he made her last as long as possible. So he's been slowly drinking from her, killing her all of this time. So Dracula he was in number 9. We're in room number 9, cabin number 9, when they all came to the door. He opened the door and was like, I decided to be proactive, and he was like, you can come in. And so next they conveniently find something from each passenger that's gone missing or that's been dead. And he pulls the curtain back, and there she is laying in the bed, half dead. So now they have her strung up. They're about to hang her for being a killer. And so the only person that thinks that she's the killer is Victor. And I think at this point, I think people are just so scared that their rationale just went out. No, and people's like, look at her. She can barely stand. She can barely walk. Look how weak she is. There's no way in the world she's been overpowering these men and killed all those people and somehow made it back to her room. Just look at her. And so she finally kind of played the game, and she was like, well, I am the killer because I'm a vampire. So she says, I'm a vampire. And they're like, what? And so she starts going on about how she to buy time. And she basically goes on about the story about she's a vampire, and if they try to kill her, she's not going to die. And then Victor, she's going to be the first person I kill when I come back, and the whole thing. And so nobody wants to kick the stool from under her. So Dracula walks up and is like, I'll do it. And so while he's like, oh, Cat, do you have any last words? Cat got your tongue. But the whole time she was biting her lip. And what she did was she spit blood in his face. Because she knew that he had no self-control. And so she spit the blood in his face. So he could change and they could see who he really was. And so eventually he revealed himself, revealed who he was. They got her down, and at this point he had disappeared. So they were like, okay, where the hell is he? So she goes to his room, and she remembered that he can only sleep in soil from his homeland, so from was it Transylvania or whatever. So they was like, so they said, well, we have like 50 crates of soil on board. And she kind of looked at him like, you didn't think that was odd? And so they so you get down to Sharma's cabin. He's packing up his cabin, and you have Lord Ruthven. He's in there, and he's talking to him. And Lord Ruthven's like, don't you have some place that you could be? And Lord Ruthven really thought that Dracula like chose him, like he was special, the chosen one. And so he basically I don't say if he set Dr. Sharman up, but he let Dracula in, and he she ends up pulling out, Dr. Sharma pulls out the cross, so Yamina's all the way in the back, she's closer to the bed, and Ruthven pulls out a gun, Dr. Sharma, and so what happens is, Dr. Sharma, actually, while he was talking to Ruthven, he pulled out this bottle and was like, he's never going to take my daughter, basically I love her too much for that, and this bottle, it was a bottle of poison. And so before he could even do anything, Yamini actually took the bottle and drank from it, and she drank the poison and she killed herself. And so now Dr. Sharma is devastated. He rushes Lord Ruthven. Lord Ruthven ends up shooting him. And Dracula looks at Lord Ruthven and is like, what have you done? And he was like, well, I thought I was helping you. I thought that you had chosen me. He's basically like, the only reason I chose you is because of Dorabella, and now that she's dead, you inherited her. You inherited all her money, and now that you're gone, you will be dead. I'm going to get all her money. So he ends up killing him. Idiot. So he ends up killing him. So you see the crew. They're now throwing off all of these containers of soil. They took them off the side, and so they saved one because she was like, if he's still alive, he's going to have to eventually come back to this one container of soil. And so, let's come back. So around this time, Piotr went to Dr. Sharma's room, and that's when he saw Dracula killing Lord Ruthven, and of course he saw the bodies of Dr. Sharma and Yamina. And so he went back on board to tell everyone. Around this time, Sister Agatha, she was taking pages of the Bible, and she kind of made a circle that a barrier that he couldn't cross. And so at one time they thought that Piotr was Dracula, similar to how he used Mr. Harker's skin to sway Mina. They thought that Piotr, because they were trying to figure out, okay, so you saw him killing Lord Ruthven, he just let you go. And so they basically like, okay, so this is the only way we're gonna figure this out, because he can't cross the barrier, so step out of the circle and step back in. And so initially, they were really like, okay, you need, come on, let's you won't come out, you getting out of the circle one way or the other. So he steps out, and it wasn't Piotr, so they pulled him back in just as Dracula was coming up at Peter. They pulled him back in. And so, of course, he's now taunting them, and you can't stay there forever, and eventually somebody's going to break, and da-da-da-da. And who was it? Adisa. So Adisa is going on about how he, killed the love of his life, which is Lord Ruthven. I'm like, that dude was an asshole. But whatever, and how Adisa didn't really believe in all of that stuff with Dracula and all that. He had this pistol, he pulled this pistol out, even though Agatha was like, I understand that you don't believe what we believe, but at the same time you have to recognize that he's dangerous, and that gun is not going to help him, and of course he's taunting Adisa, and of course Adisa steps out, shoots him like 4 or 5 times. Of course he didn't die. He kills Adisa, throws him overboard, and then all hell breaks loose. And so they eventually all attack him. Someone during this battle, one of these wine barrels cracked, so you see this wine throwing out over the deck. She ends up throwing a lantern over, sets him on fire. He's doing the whole screaming and wailing and the whole thing. He falls overboard. And so at this point, they think that it's all said and done. Okay, so they, of course, they still had some time to go before they made it to England. And so, next thing you know, it's, I don't know how many days later, mornings later, and he was like, well, where's Agatha? And he was like,